俺だってこのマイナス10度のところ、しじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそ、Never give up!
Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey, chapter 342. It is the third day of the week, aka the Spirit Bomb workout. I am feeling very good right now, very excited for this workout. But anyways, to the main subject matter for today. Never doom. It is something that has been coming up randomly recently that I've been seeing as more of a mentality to have in the world. We have the doomer and the never doomer, or the bloomer, as in other words. And one day we will talk about the doomer and or dooming in general. But today I want to discuss the opposite because I think there have been a lot of downers recently on the channel with a lot of stuff being negative. So I wanted to change it up a little bit and do something that's a little bit lighter. And in the sense of today's, we will be talking about never dooming or never doom, aka never accept the bad, only accept that you can keep going no matter what. I think that the never doom idea is fundamental to a lot of the stuff on this channel. Though I describe a lot of things that are happening in the world that kind of suck, I think that at the end of the day, as long as you never doom, you are fine. Because realistically, you can discuss these things and try to see where the light is at the end of those tunnels. But at the end of the day as well, you can just close those tunnels completely and go somewhere else. And that's the other thing, because some people get that tunnel vision in certain areas of life where they cannot get out of it. See this episode about one-shotting, literally the previous episode. But I think that never dooming is something that is quite quintessential to a person's philosophy. If you are going to be living this life, I feel like if you are never dooming good, I feel like you need to get people to be into that state. Those who doom and or go into that weird existential crisis of why am I doing this? What is the point? All that other stuff is only destined to set themselves up for failure. So, with that being said, we will go downstairs and we will discuss more about the never doom popularity as well as how it can apply to yourself in everyday life, because it is something that can come up every day. So with that being said, I will see you at Mother Base.
All right, so started this day off with AD press, which was pretty good. But anyways, back to the main subject matter for today. Never doom. So the main reason why I wanted to discuss this is because I have seen a lot of memes about never dooming, and it is something that is important in the world where we would want to not doom. Dooming is probably one of the worst things that you can do, because dooming is spiraling. You spiral down into a cataclysm of just terrible events and just negative thoughts that just keep reinforcing themselves over and over and over again. And I think that that's the main thing about never dooming. This isn't necessarily like a false positivity type of thing, which will be a different episode on a different day, because it is slightly in a similar sense, but not necessarily, because this isn't necessarily even false positivity. Even staying neutral is technically never dooming because you're not in the doom mode. I think that there is more brightness in the world as long as you look for it rather than darkness. But there is a lot of darkness in the world. I'm not one to deny that it is easy to go into the doom spiral, because it's very much easy to do it. But it is the refraining from going down that rabbit hole and making sure that you never go down that rabbit hole and never give up is the main thing about never dooming, or at least having this ideal in your brain, at least at all times, whenever you start to see the cracks and the spiraling that could be coming down. I think a lot of people go through a certain point in their life where they end up becoming a doomer for at least a moment in their life, where things aren't going awry, or things are going awry and things aren't going the way that they should be for you. And all of a sudden you have to start worrying about so many things, and then they all just pile upon you, and then you start dooming, giving up, life is hopeless, that entire stuff. And it sucks, but I think that this is the opposite of that, and you need to make sure that you just don't do that. Now, this also is another way of just looking at it the opposite, where it's like you're stout against the darkness around the world. You have to be the light in order to make sure that you are more powerful than the darkness around you. Things today are designed to bring you down, and a lot of the time they are meant for you to doom. Hell, even in something like doom scrolling, which I've made a video before about, it is something that is designed in theory to lead you down a rabbit hole of decay and darkness. And this is where you have to remember to not do that. Do not give up. Do not surrender. I think that that's the best mindset that you can get into, because what it would be considered a false positive attitude or like a chippery type of deal is not the way to go about things, because it leads to a weird conundrum where you're getting too positive, where you can't allow things to be negative at all. This just means that you either stay neutral or don't go down the hole. And I think a lot of people end up going down that hole because it is kind of easy to allow the pressures of the world to bring them down into that rabbit hole and kind of destroy their mindset and their positivity and outlook upon the world into a negative, hell-bent destruction of the world. So that is why it is important to not doom and make sure that you do everything in your power to stay away from that and never give up.
And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Got everything in, thankfully. But anyways, back to the main subject matter at hand. Never doom. So the main reason why I wanted to discuss this is because there is something to be said about having a non-negative mindset when it comes to certain things, specifically just looking out into the future. There's a lot of things out there, social media and the world, kind of putting you down in a way, and if you keep looking at it, there's only one way to look at it, and that is in a negative light. And I think that it is important to remember to never doom in those scenarios, because it is easy to get yourself dragged down by those people and or into whatever world events are happening. Really, in reality, nothing's happening, but that's a whole other subject for a whole other day. But I think that never dooming is an important thing to remember, specifically because even though we discuss many things in this channel, but also out there in the world that are negative and terrible and really like, how are we supposed to get away from this? It is always important to remember that we will get away from it. We will be better eventually. Things will happen in our favor. It's just like the luck thing, where if you believe you have good luck, then it will increase your luck. So same thing with never dooming. Never give up, never surrender. Oh, never doom. And I think that that is a good motto to have, especially nowadays when the world is so topsy-turvy and things are kind of seem like they are meant to break you down no matter how hard you try. But all we can do is rely on our strength and make sure that we have the mentality that things are never going to be that bad and we are going to bounce back from it. But with that being said, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This was a interesting one, different but random, always like usual. But please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace!